If you're planning to stay in Australia after your studies, this one update could change everything for you. In 2025, the Australian government introduced a new age limit for visa applicants, and thousands are now suddenly ineligible. But what if you're one of the lucky few who still qualify, even after 35 or even 45? Stay with me, because in this video, I'm breaking down the age exemptions that could be your ticket to staying in Australia legally and long-term. Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. If you've been following Australia's migration changes, you already know things are shifting fast, and the 2025 visa age limit update is one of the biggest changes yet. Whether you're an international student, a recent graduate, or someone planning to move to Australia soon, this update could impact your future in a major way. The age limit for many visa applicants has been reduced, but there are key exemptions that most people don't know about, and if you qualify, they could make all the difference. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what's changed, who's still eligible, and what your options are in 2025 and beyond. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more useful updates. And if you find this video helpful, make sure to give it a like and share it with someone who might need it. Now, let's get into it. Australia has always had specific age limits when it comes to visa applications, especially in the case of skilled migration and graduate visas. For many people, the pathway to permanent residency begins with the temporary graduate visa, which is often known as subclass 485. This visa allows you to stay in Australia after you finish your studies and gain work experience. But recent changes have affected the age eligibility for this visa, and a lot of applicants are now asking whether they still qualify. Starting from July 2024, major reforms have been introduced to the temporary graduate visa. The government not only renamed the visa streams, but also reduced the age eligibility for most applicants. Under the new rules, most people must be 35 years old or younger to apply for the graduate visa. This came as a shock to many international students and skilled workers who were planning to use this visa as a stepping stone to permanent residency. But the good news is, there are still some exemptions that allow people to apply up until the age of 50. So if you're worried about the age cutoff, keep watching because we're going to break it all down. Let's start by understanding how the visa system has changed. The previous structure included the graduate work stream, post-study work stream, second post-study work stream, and the replacement stream. Now, these have been rebranded as post-vocational education work stream, post-higher education work stream, and a few others. The replacement stream has been removed completely. In addition to these name changes, the length of stay under each stream has also been adjusted. For example, bachelor and master's by coursework graduates are now allowed to stay for up to 2 years, while master's by research and PhD graduates can stay up to 3 years. But these changes are secondary to the bigger issue, the age limit. Previously, applicants could be up to 50 years old when applying for a subclass 485 visa. Now, with the 2024 reforms, most applicants must be under 35 years of age. However, not everyone is affected equally. The government has created exemptions for specific groups of people, and those exemptions will continue to apply in 2025. The two major exemption categories are as follows. First, people who have completed a master's by research or PhD in Australia. Second, people who hold a Hong Kong passport or a British national overseas passport. If you fall into either of these groups, the new age limit of 35 does not apply to you. Instead, you remain eligible to apply up to the age of 50. This means if you are 45 years old and you have completed a PhD in Australia, you are still eligible to apply for the subclass 485 visa. The same applies if you are 48 years old and you hold a Hong Kong passport and have completed a bachelor's degree in Australia. It's important to understand the specifics here. The phrase under 50 means that you must be 49 or younger at the time of applying. Once you reach 50, you are no longer eligible even if you fall into an exempt category. Now let's look at how this works in practice. If you have completed a bachelor degree or a master's by coursework and you do not hold a Hong Kong or British national overseas passport, then you must be under 35 years old at the time of your visa application. That means if you are 36, even by one day, you are no longer eligible under the new rules unless you qualify under one of the two exemptions. On the other hand, if you have completed a master's by research or a PhD, then you are exempt from the 35-year rule. This exemption gives you an extended age window, allowing you to apply until you are just under 50. This is especially helpful for those who pursue postgraduate research after working or studying for several years and are already in their late 30s or early 40s. Let's say you are 42 and you have completed a PhD in Australia. Under the 2025 rules, you are still eligible for a subclass 485 visa because you fall within the exempted category. However, if you are 42 and have completed a master's by coursework and do not have a qualifying passport, you are not eligible. The second major exemption category is based on your nationality. If you are a citizen of Hong Kong or hold a British national overseas passport, then you are eligible to apply for the graduate visa up to the age of 50, regardless of whether your qualification is research or coursework. This means that even if you only hold a bachelor degree and are 45 years old, you can still apply. The reason for this exception is Australia's special migration arrangements with Hong Kong, which have been strengthened in recent years. Similar consideration is extended to holders of British national overseas passports due to ongoing political developments in Hong Kong. It's also important to know that just because you're exempt from the age limit, it doesn't mean you're automatically granted the visa. You still need to meet all other requirements, such as English language proficiency, health and character checks, and holding a qualification that meets the criteria for the visa stream you are applying for. Now let's go through a few real-life scenarios to better understand how this works. Scenario 1. You're 32 and have completed a bachelor's degree in Australia. Since you're under 35 and your qualification qualifies for the post-higher education workstream, you are eligible to apply. Scenario 2. You're 38 and have completed a master's by coursework. You do not have a Hong Kong or British national overseas passport. In this case, you are not eligible because your degree type does not qualify you for an age exemption and you are over 35. Scenario 3. You're 45 and you have completed a PhD in Australia. You are eligible to apply because PhD graduates are exempt from the 35-year age cap. Scenario 4. You're 48 and you've completed a master's by coursework. You do not have a qualifying passport. In this case, you are not eligible as your degree is not research-based and you are well above the age limit. Scenario 5. You're 36, hold a Hong Kong passport, and have completed a bachelor degree. You are still eligible because your passport makes you exempt from the 35-year limit. As you can see, the key variables that determine your eligibility are your age at the time of application, the type of qualification you completed, and the passport you hold. Now, let's talk briefly about what to do if you don't fall into an exemption category and you're above the age limit. Your journey doesn't necessarily end here. There are other visa options that you may be eligible for, such as employer-sponsored visas, state nomination under skilled migration, or even training and specialist stream visas. These visas may have different criteria and age limits, so it's worth exploring them with a registered migration agent. Also, keep an eye on government announcements. Visa policies in Australia can change based on political, economic, and social factors. Just because you're ineligible now doesn't mean that will be the case forever. Sometimes policies are adjusted in response to labor shortages or international relations, so staying informed is key. If you're still planning your studies or thinking about enrolling in a new course in Australia, and you are close to or over 35 years old, consider enrolling in a research-based program such as a Master's by Research or PhD. This could give you eligibility for the 485 visa under the age exemption. It's a strategic choice that could open the door to further migration options. Timing is also critical.
If you are close to turning 35 or 50 and believe you may qualify under the exemptions, make sure your application is lodged before your birthday. Even being 1 day late could result in a refusal. Your age is calculated as of the date your application is submitted, not the date it is granted.
Here are a few final tips for those planning to apply in 2025. First, check your graduation certificate and confirm whether your program was coursework or research-based. This will determine which age rule applies to you. Second, look at your passport. If you are from Hong Kong or hold a British national overseas passport, you may qualify for the exemption regardless of your qualification type. Third, double-check the age calculation. Remember, you must be under the age limit on the day you apply. Not before, not after, but on the exact day of application. Fourth, if you think you might be affected by the age limit, speak to a registered migration agent. They can assess your situation and give you advice specific to your tastes. Fifth, have a backup plan. If you are not eligible for subclass 485, look into other visa options. Sometimes state nomination or employer sponsorship may provide a better long-term pathway, especially if you have skills that are in demand in Australia. Finally, don't panic. Yes, the changes are significant, and they do close the door for some people, but they also provide clearer direction for others. If you're proactive, do your research, and act on time, you still have a good chance to secure a future in Australia. So that's everything you need to know about the Australia Visa Age Limit update in 2025, and more importantly, who still qualifies under the new rules. If you fall under one of the exemptions, this might be your chance to stay in Australia legally and build your future here. Timing and details matter more than ever, so be smart, plan ahead, and don't miss your opportunity. If this video helped you understand things more clearly, please give it a like, drop a comment below with your thoughts or questions, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.